listening to the Agent Survival Guide podcast, a podcast for today's insurance agents. Informing, educating, empowering, improving the way you do business in an industry that's anything but static. In today's episode, learn the formula to make your next final expense sale a successful one. 4 steps to every final expense sale, written by Roxanne Anderson. There are 4 significant things every agent selling final expense insurance should do for more sales. Do you know what they are? It's not easy to naturally bring up end-of-life topics. Having your sales process down pat is vital before calling up a client and pitching them plans to help cover the costs associated with their own passing. We've got 4 steps to help you with this process. Discover how to bring up the subject of final expense insurance with confidence and convert more prospects into clients through these basic steps. Number 1, ask the magic questions. There's one important thing you must do to gain a complete understanding of your client's financial situations, allowing you to see if there are any hidden coverage gaps. Asking questions gives you an idea of what types of policies they could afford. What are the magic questions for selling final expense? They're the questions that dive into your client's health, family, current insurance policies, and assets. Using an icebreaker, such as the one-page Ritter fact finder, helps you get the answers you need. You can download the PDF using the link in our episode notes. Once you've gathered all the background information, there are 2 sets of qualifying questions you should pose. First, have you or your family been involved with or assisted in paying for a loved one's funeral? How were the expenses handled? And the second, have you thought about your final wishes? If you pass without insurance, who will take care of your arrangements? And more importantly, how will they pay? These inquiries will help to get your client thinking about related past personal experiences and if having some sort of final expense coverage is important to them. Number 2, educate like no other. A 2021 study by Life Happens reported that 65% of consumers did not know how or what type of life insurance to buy, and 62% have put off getting covered. Even with those statistics as the case for more than half of the individuals, they don't report buyer's remorse. In fact, 39% of people wished they bought life insurance sooner. As humans, we're hesitant to leap into the unknown. As a well-informed agent, you can help individuals feel comfortable finally moving forward and satisfying their coverage needs for their end-of-life plan. By educating your clients about the benefits and debunking myths, you offer peace of mind and empower them to have agency in their lives. What should you explain about final expense? Start by going over the basics. Emphasize the stability of a final expense policy. It's guaranteed their rates will never rise, their benefits will never get cut, and their plan will never be canceled. Additionally, discuss the different types of final expense plans out there: level, graded, modified, and guaranteed issue, and what you believe they would qualify for and why. A client will most likely stay loyal to the agent who went that extra mile to walk them through the details, over the one who cornered them into buying a product they weren't entirely sure they wanted. Number 3, pre-qualify sales-qualified leads. What do we mean when we say that? Well, a sales-qualified lead is someone who has demonstrated intent to buy. If they're not in the purchasing stage of the sales funnel already, they're on their way there. Now, let's talk about pre-qualifications. There are 2 phases to pre-qualifying your sales-qualified final expense leads. The first is qualifying them based on their health, and the second is qualifying them based on their budget. Looking at health qualifications, Not everyone is eligible for simplified issue final expense insurance. Certain conditions can disqualify an applicant from coverage. These conditions may include, but are not limited to, AIDS, cerebral palsy, cancer, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, dementia, diabetes, heart attack, and Lou Gehrig's disease, or ALS. If simplified issue final expense won't work for a client, then a guaranteed issue policy is the way to go. These policies come with a higher premium. If your client is relatively healthy or has some health issues that wouldn't preclude them from a policy, you can move on to the next phase of pre-qualifying, and that is qualifying by their budget. Qualifying for a policy based on health does not matter if your client can't afford it. Before you start writing, you must find out which plans fit into your client's budget. One way you can do this is to ask your clients what monthly premium they could afford to pay right now to protect their family later. If they aren't sure, simply start saying available monthly premium amounts from highest to lowest. As you announce them, watch your client's body language and listen to their reactions to see which price is right. Another way to pre-qualify final expense leads based on budget is to work backward. Ask them if they're aware of how much end-of-life services cost. If not, inform them of the average costs of cremations or funerals. Then, go over available policy payout amounts based on your client's final wishes and ask them how much coverage they'd be interested in having. Finally, number 4, turn to each carrier's final expense sweet spots. At this point, if you've determined a prospect can qualify for and afford a final expense plan, you can write them into a policy. Doing so is a whole lot easier if you know each carrier's final expense sweet spot. That's where having the back office support of an experienced, full-service field marketing organization like Ritter Insurance Marketing comes into play. Ritter's carefully crafted final expense sweet spots will tell you if a carrier offers preferred, level, modified, and graded ratings, if they accept paper applications or have an e-app, if they feature just-in-time contracting, require a telephone interview at the point of sale, if they accept the most common health conditions, such as previous heart attack, cancer, COPD, or diabetes, and when and if the carrier provides anything else sweet or worth noting. To view them, all you need to do is complete the free registration with our website, ritterim.com. Once you confirm you're logged into the site, visit the Ritter Insurance Marketing Final Expense Carrier Sweet Spots link in the episode notes. You will not be able to view that information without registering. But again, it is a free registration. It takes about a minute to fill out the form fields, and then you'll be good to go. Whether you're new to selling final expense insurance or not, there's always room to grow. Refining your sales strategy could be exactly what you need to sell more. And remember, if you have any questions about final expense, or other industry-related questions, feel free to reach out to us. You can send us an email at asgpodcast@ritterim.com or leave a voicemail at 717-562-7211. Thank you so much for listening. We will see you next episode. The Agent Survival Guide podcast is a production of Ritter Insurance Marketing, an Integrity company. This episode was written by Roxanne Anderson. Script adaptation by Tina Lamoureux. Recording and production by me, Sarah Ruppel. Podcast design by Urban Rivera. Artwork by Vivian Zhao. Follow along with our show wherever you like to listen.